Hey, this is Ed Spangenberg from Click Tea Shop, and if you're down in the dumps and you need something to pick you up, there's only one thing that will do. What's that? The Shout It Out Loudcast with Tom and Zeus, uninhibited and uncensored for your listening pleasure.
Hey, what's up there, Kiss Army? It's Tom and Zeus. We're doing another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast, episode 43, called I'm Alive. I'm alive, Tom. Are you?
Yeah, dude, you sound like you're reading the fucking weather. You all right over there, buddy? It's like you're doing like a traffic report. Hi, George Piandes.
Who?
That's what I'm saying. That's your stage name.
So, yeah, I was just, I'm kind of thinking, like, what do I change this shit up in the beginning a little?
No.
Just speak to you like, yes, and thank you, and I'm a little perplexed about that album. You
Want to change something up. Anytime I bring up any potential change, you're like fucking Rain Man. You lose your mind over it. Now you want to change shit up.
I am constantly OCDing on Tom. No, we can't do that. We can't. Anyways, life is good.
Yeah, we're recording on Wednesday, October 30th, the day before Halloween. Ooh. By the time everybody hears this, it will already be over. So hopefully when you listen to us, you've had a safe and happy Halloween and put some kiss into that holiday.
Yep, and you've already been visited by the Halloween rhinestone trucker in your sleep. Oh, I want to come over there and give you a big kiss.
Oh, God. That's a good segue.
What an episode. I mean, as soon as we put that up, then, not because of us, but I'm saying like right around that time, everybody's putting up Paul Lynde stuff, the Halloween special and what it meant to them and the impact in the cheesiness and the Kiss performance and all the memories about it. It was interesting.
Yeah, we actually got a little bit of feedback, and it was interesting because we talked about, anybody out there who was like old enough to like see it and remember it, and we got a Facebook comment from somebody that said it was the equivalent of people who saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. He said because seeing Kiss on Paul Lynde, it was their first primetime performance, and people were blown away by it. So that must have been pretty cool if you were like a Kiss freak at that time.
I think somebody was asking us questions about it, Tom, and I think I replied with, well, first, me and Tom were both 3 years old at the time, so I don't think we caught it.
Yep.
But funny how we caught just a couple years later, 2 years later, we caught Phantom and we caught everything else, and we remembered the Love Gun. And like I said, by the time we turned 7 or 8, we already outgrew Kiss.
Not me.
Yeah, I did. And then I circled back.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the feedback was pretty strong about it. I mean, look, it's an iconic. If you're a Kiss fan, it's an iconic performance. It's an iconic event, the Paul Lynde special, and the guy, reading about him and his antics and stuff. The guy is kind of interesting.
Yeah, he is.
Right.
I mean, he is. Yeah. Somebody had made a comment about how he was known to get have a few too many drinks and get friggin' rambunctious. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure everybody in the 70s was like a drunken, womanizing alcoholic.
Yeah, I don't know about the womanizing part, but
that's true.
He had
kids.
Just, I don't know. It was kind of funny, and then everyone was going down the list and we did our polls, and you're like, oh, let's do something. I'm like, no. By the way, guys, it was my idea. I'm like, no. We need to do who was hotter, Margaret Hamilton, Mrs. Brady, or Witchy Poo, or whatever the fuck it was.
Betty White and fucking
Pinky Tuscadero.
Yeah, but you could tell that people clearly a poll like this didn't get a shit ton of votes.
Yeah.
But here's my problem with you fucking wackos out there. 15% of you voted for Margaret Hamilton.
Oh, I did too.
I was going to say,
fucking goof.
You know what? Maybe they watched the video after you were commenting on the size of a rack, and they were like,
somebody said that to me. Somebody sent me some you're damn right. She does have a solid rack there for an old lady. Who the fuck did that,
dude?
I'm not shitting you.
Is that the same group of people out there surfing freaking granny porn on fucking Pornhub? Oh, gross.
It's Steve Wright wrote me from Potter Than Hell.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit, dude! I'm pissing my pants at your comment that the Wicked Witch of the West has a solid boob. Boobs. Yeah, sorry.
Oh man,
I don't know. I go to the friggin' surreal stuff.
I know it's funny.
So that was a fun episode, and that's what we're all about. We're all about fun.
Okay. No, it was good. That was a good one, definitely.
Yeah. So what's going on in Kiss World, Tom?
Well, this week, a couple big like anniversary type events this week. This past week, so you'll be hearing this on Saturday, the 2nd November. So this week was the anniversary of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, released on TV. It was the anniversary of the Paul Lynde Halloween special. It was the anniversary of the release of Carnival of Souls.
Whose show was it? Paul Rizzo. Paul Lynde.
And it's also the anniversary of the all-time greatest, most hilarious Kiss interview ever, the embarrassing drunken performance with the Tom Snyder show with Ace and Peter. So a lot of shit going on this week, and historically speaking. But what's going on currently in Kiss World?
Yeah, so there was a couple articles, and you're right. Every time hey, did you see that article? You're like, it's the same old fucking shit. I know. There's an article. Paul talks about him and Gene have never been closer. And then I guess Dennis Miller fills in for Larry King. Is Larry King alive?
Dude, I honestly don't think if he is alive, must be like a Halloween skeleton decoration somewhere.
He's like a skeleton with some suspenders and big glasses. Yeah. But I guess Dennis Miller fills in for him, and he interviewed Gene. It's a good conversation. Dennis Miller, you could tell, actually enjoyed finding what Gene says. It must be like he doesn't hear Gene much, but he could tell he was into what Gene was saying. I won't say like, I was born in Israel. I never understood what food was. I had to sit in line and get a piece of bread. And Gene goes through the stuff about America and, we had to get rid of it. People, you have a flat tire, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that settle down analogy, boy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then obviously the last part of this stuff is the Kiss cruise is going on. We'll save that for another date. We'll talk about that. We don't want to get into it much. It's like the first day. Cruise Fest happened. The first day of the cruise is going on right now. So we're not going to get into it halfway. But you had a comment you want to bring up real quick.
Well, just real quick. Cruise Fest happened the other day. And, we knew that Peter was going to be at that event. At the hotel, wherever. Yep. I don't think Peter was officially part of Cruise Fest, but there was that event that Peter was at.
Correct.
And I mean, we know he's older than the other guys. Good God, man, he looks tired. I mean, he looks good for his age. I'll say that, but it's sad. It was sad because I'm like, God, man, all of our fucking like icons are just getting old. Like to see Peter Criss as like an old man, I was like, oh, sad.
Oh, you're sad because what's his name just died. Every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator,
eating all the food. Yeah, rest in peace, John Witherspoon. Friday, yeah. I know.
Yeah, and as bad as Peter looked, I think Ace sounded worse than Peter looked. Holy fuck. And we'll talk about it next time.
I was just going to say, we'll save that because that could potentially be
where's my water bottle? I'm going to fucking chuck it off someone's head.
Dude, yeah, that could potentially be an episode. So we'll save that commentary.
All right. Oh. So, ready to get started?
Let's go.
Before we start, though, I'm going to have to go get my shoes so I have them.
Oh boy, hello, Barbara. Oh, we're back.
Barbara. So this week we are going to go back to our trusty top 10 list.
Yeah, so we are going to do a top 10 list of songs that have never appeared on any official Kiss Live release that we personally would have liked to have seen that band, that lineup at the time, perform those songs live on a live album. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's the Animalize album, we want to pick a song from that, then that means we wanted to hear what the band sounded like with Mark St. John in the band.
Right.
If it's, with Eric Carr and Ace coming out of The Elder, there you go. That's that band. We want that band playing. So we're not talking about the current band out going right now touring. We're talking about the band, a snapshot at that point in time. We're just coming up with a top 10 list. Honestly, I barely had these really in order. I mean, I want all these songs, but I had to trim it down to 10.
Yeah, mine are actually in chronological order of just release. I didn't rank them. And what we were using,
we're better off make yours random when you throw it out, just so a little suspense to it.
Yeah. No, right. But we're using, so we said songs that have not appeared on an official release. So what that means is we're talking about the if I pick a song like, I don't know, Ladies in Waiting, I don't want somebody being, oh no, that was on a Somalian release EP back in '78. No. We're not. We're
I thought Somalia was producing albums at a record plant there in between bombings.
But my point is, we're using like official U.S. releases, which are Alive, Alive 2, Alive 3, Alive 4, Symphony, Unplugged, Kiss Rocks Vegas,
the Alive box set, the Millennium Concert.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. We're not doing the Insta Live.
No.
There was three of those. Like Rock the Nation had one. I think there was a Sonic Boom when that one was like that. Am I missing somebody else too from an album that we were going to pick live? I'm not sure, Tom.
I don't think so. I think that was it. I think we were looking at official live releases.
Okay. So again, we're going by Alive 1 through 4.
Yep.
Unplugged.
Yep.
Oh, I know one. You Wanted the Best.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Got it. Oh, good one.
You Wanted the Best has some live stuff.
Yep.
Millennium Concert and Kiss Rocks Vegas. So the Insta Live, Alive 35, and Sonic Boom, those Insta Live albums, they're not counting.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to do a top 10 list. Tom, why don't you start it off this time? I think I did the last one.
Okay. So I put my list together. So I didn't do like, okay, these are my 10 most favorite Kiss songs that have never appeared on a live album. I didn't do that because I figured that'd be kind of easy, maybe a little bit boring for myself.
Yeah, so, because that would be the compilation when we first started.
Exactly. So so what I did was I looked at songs that I would have liked to have heard a particular lineup, maybe in a particular costume, in a particular era, and just to see what those songs would have sounded live. These songs, not all of them may be like my favorite songs. A lot of them are songs I love, obviously. So if we're going to go in a random order, I will.
So this is your number 10.
So, okay. Yeah. And again, these are not, because I rank them in chronological. There's no ranking. I know. So I'll just say number.
Pick one that'd be your favorite, but just.
Yeah. So number 10, I would go with this one. Off of Animalize, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire. Okay. I like that song. I'm not going to tell you it's one of my all-time favorite songs. However, I really would have liked to have seen that lineup with Mark St. John, that style of Kiss, that kind of shred version of Kiss. I would have liked to have heard them live, because we're talking about live albums, not seeing them on concert, obviously. I would have liked to have heard an official produced live recording of that to see how that would have translated, because I like that song, but I have a feeling that song would have kicked major ass live.
Yeah, and obviously there's a couple concerts that he actually, Mark St. John, played with Kiss. Yep. So it's not like you have a huge capability of doing it. Right. That's a great song. The guitar is going, but I'm curious. I don't remember. I did the research when we did the album. Was that Did he play on that one?
On the album?
On that song?
On that song? Ooh. I don't know if
I had a feeling he didn't.
On the okay, you may be correct, but I'm looking at it in terms of if they
understand.
If they toured, that it would have been him.
Now, I know Bruce played on Lonely as the Hunter and Murder in High Heels.
Yeah.
Just not sure if he. Whatever. But I'm sure that'd be pretty good. That if he did.
Yeah.
That that guitar and that friggin' speed and stuff.
That was like their kind of shred era. So
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. My number 10, and we did know this because they used to play this a lot live. It's on Animalize Live, but it never made it to an album. Let's hear it. Fits Like a Glove.
Yeah. See,
I'm
love
lucky. That.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I love the Animalize Live. I want to know what Vinny would be like playing that with them. And spoiler alert, I want to hear Gene sing this live and hear the butter and have a live version of that.
See, I'm lucky enough to have seen and heard that live on the Hot in the Shade tour. It had Bruce Kulick, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's that. These are the songs that we're talking about. What would they have sounded like live? You're right.
Yeah, just having that I can go back to. Now, I have some bootleg CDs that I can always put that on. But you know what I mean. Like, if I'm going by official releases, I would love to have Fits Like a Glove. And again, that's why we're not doing favorite songs that aren't live, that we want live. It's something unique about this song, and that's why I wanted that. That whole butter thing would probably sound awesome. And that Vinny on that guitar riff, that would be great.
And not to go down a rabbit hole here, but we've talked about this before, and other people have brought it up too. You just wish that there were just more like live albums, or at least a live album during this era. Like, why did they wait so long?
Exactly, for different versions of different lineup live versions. Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean?
All right, number 9 for you.
Okay, so number 9 for me. So this is another song that, I will say some of these songs are some of my all-time favorites, but they also fall into that category of would have liked to have seen it live, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go with this one. Off of Unmasked, that's Naked City, okay? And the reason why I would have liked to have heard that live, and we had talked about this during the Unmasked episode, that song has some balls to it, okay? Vinny Poncia kind of stripped the balls away from it during the recording.
Yeah.
So what would this have sounded like live, with the electric guitars plugged in, with the raw drum sound? I think that would have been interesting to hear.
No, it makes sense. Again, these are things that, for some reason or another, we would like to hear this version. It makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Naked City stripped down and just a rock and roll song with your guitar, bass, and drums.
Yep.
Probably a lot different than the keyboarded album that was Unmasked.
Yeah.
So no, I like the pick. Number 9 for me. So number 9 for me on a lot of our compilations that we always do in top 10 lists for me. That's the song I would love another song live. First of all, I want that era, the Eric, and they're playing that hard rock, / metal, Eric Carr, Ace, and the main guys, Gene and Paul, and just Gene and Paul going back and forth on the vocals. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
It pisses me off to no end that Eric Carr never got a Kiss Alive album.
Yeah.
I wish he did. You're right. That song live would have been that would have been great.
Yeah. And that's where I came up with that. Number 8 to you.
Okay, number 8 for me. This could get some interesting feedback. All right, so let's go with off of Carnival of Souls, the opening track, Hate.
Oh.
I can see Zeus's face right there. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to get into it right now. Too much detail. I've loved this album. I like it. This is one of my favorite songs. This is one of my favorite Gene songs.
Yep.
Now, the reason why first of all, I love this song. I love the way the song sounds on the album as recorded. Okay. But a lot of people say it has like that grungy sound to it with the drums and the detuned guitars.
Sounds like the end of a song from Siamese Dream.
Yeah. Kind of. Or
back at the end and the distortion and stuff.
But what would it have sound like live? Would it have been a little bit, because I look at some of the songs on Kiss Alive 3 and how they sound so different because they're live. So would this have sounded the same? Or would it just been, Eric singing with his regular drums without the produced drum sound to make it sound like that? I love the song, so any version of it I think would have sounded kick-ass, but something from Carnival of Souls live I would have liked.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yep.
Number 8 to me. You know me, I'm a sucker for the lead singers trading verses. And one of my favorites, It's My Life. I would love to hear I'm talking about the Psycho Circus version where Ace is doing the lyrics with Gene. Back and forth. I think this would have been awesome catching them two live doing this. So I'm going with It's My Life.
Oh, you're right. That would have been interesting and exciting to see Gene and Ace taking turns on the microphone
live.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
Yep.
I hope Ace wouldn't sound like he sounds like now, but
fucking old man. Yikes.
So It's My Life, number 8. Number 7 to you.
Okay. Number 7 to me. Let's go Let's go with this one. And piggybacking on a little bit of what Zeus said earlier off of The Elder, I went with The Oath. And pretty much for the same reason that Zeus said. These two songs absolutely rip, okay? We're not going to get into an Elder review right now, obviously. But The Oath live, oh my God. That riff and Eric Carr that song is great on The Elder. I can't imagine what it would have been like live. And the same thing that you said. I'm sorry. I was just going to say the same thing that you said is something from that era. Those costumes, that era, that outfit, that whole environment of the band at the time. Yeah, I had it a little bit further up, but I'm going to just put it now in there. I had that as well. Okay. And as I guess it's similar to but I liked it for the Paul and Gene back and forth. Yeah. Versus The Oath is just badass. Yeah. And they looked badass in the live video performance of it. And I'm curious how it would sound with them actually performing that with Paul in his, still in his vocal prime and the guitars and Eric's drumming on that song. Oh, I bet you they would kick ass. Yeah, I think it's underrated, not to veer off, but I think the image of the band at that time, man, think about if there was a great version of The Oath live, how awesome that would have been for The Elder. That would have definitely given it more love. Yep. Right? I agree. Yep. Number 6. They fucked up by releasing World Without Heroes as the opening single off that album. I think that was the killer right there. They fucked up making that song. We'll save that though, but go ahead. Number 6 to you. Oh, so all right, because you took The Oath also? Correct. Okay. So 6 to me. Where am I? Hold on. Let's go back to the Stone Age. That is not on my list. Below. That is not on my list. All right. Let's take the makeup off of this one. That's off Lick It Up. That's Young and Wasted. Couple reasons why I have this on here. A, my favorite song off the album, so I would have loved to have heard it live. But B, as everybody knows, Eric Carr. I don't know if it was all the time, but Eric Carr would sing this live. Yeah. Because there's some videos, some YouTube videos of them performing. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. Animalized. Correct. Yep. Yeah. So I can see it. Again, there's something different about this song. Is it as favored as other songs? Maybe no, but you want to hear it live. You want to hear a taped performance of Eric Carr singing live. Yep. And I love this, and I think this kind of kills two birds with one stone. It gives me the opportunity to hear one of my favorite songs live, and it gives me the opportunity to hear Eric Carr sing. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Yep. Staying in the same album, let's go with this. I got to give love to my favorite, A Million to One.
just not only just because Paul's performance vocally, but I love that solo. Love that guitar solo in the middle.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear what that would sound like live. I think that would be a great, and Paul would hit that mark. Oh, in his prime off of Lick It Up tour. Oh, that'd be awesome. Awesome.
I think the closest thing we got to that was Paul's solo live, right?
Yeah.
One Last Kiss.
Ooh.
What the fuck? Settle down, Herta.
Okay.
All right.
Number
So I'm
5. We're in the top 5, brother.
all right. Well, these aren't ranked in any particular order. Well, mine are.
We're down to 5 left. How's that?
Okay. All right. I hear you, fruitcake.
I hear you.
All right. Let's keep the we're gonna keep the makeup off again here. So let's go with this one, number 5. So off of an album that we love, a song that we love, a lineup we love. That's King of Hearts from Hot in the Shade. A lot of the songs I picked on this list are songs that would sound good live on an album, would sound good live in a concert, would look good live in a concert, driving hard rock, kind of mid to upper tempo paced songs. And I think King of Hearts is one. Bruce, killer riff, killer song. I saw them on the Hot in the Shade tour, but they did not play this song. So I would have liked to have heard this one on a live recording. I wish there was a Hot in the Shade live album. Maybe in Somalia there is one.
You just want to hear the part where they go bang bang.
Exactly. So good.
Man. Oh, it's a good song. And, we all love that version of Kiss. Yep. With Bruce and Eric Carr. Yep. And then obviously the Revenge era too. But no, it's a good version. I'd like to hear it. And this would make, no one hears this song. A live version of the song would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Pretty original.
Yep.
So number 5 to me. So for number 5, I'm going back to something that I just love, and any version of the song I would love. So off Paul Stanley's makeup solo album, It's All Right.
Yeah.
I got to hear that version. So I was going back and forth. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? But I just like this song better. I would just die to hear this song. Paul is at his best. The guitar riff is sick. I think this would be excellent if they got to play this live. And I don't think there's ever been a time I've heard them play this live. So
yeah, I don't know why they chose on the that live clip. I think it's one Kissology. It might be one of the bonus discs or something. They did a there's a concert of them each playing a song off their solo album, and Paul plays Move On, which I'm not a fan of that song at all, live or studio version. I don't know why. I mean, there's so many good songs, including It's All Right. That would have just been great. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Move On is just...
I don't like it.
That's his old Soul Stations shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please. Fucking Soul Station.
You got to move it.
Yeah.
You got to move it.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's got Patti LaBelle in the background on that.
Ooh.
Ooh, Patti LaBelle, you got a fat ass.
Just come out of the car looking more like Freddie Jackson.
Number 4 to you.
All right, let's put the makeup back on and go in the Wayback Machine. Here we go. Over to the Catman off Dress to Kill, Getaway.
Oh.
And I love the Dress to Kill era, quote unquote. Gene's bass on this song. Not enough Peter live stuff. We hear Beth. We hear Hard Luck Woman on a live 2, which is just enough. Those are the 2 songs you put on a live 2. Terrible selections. I love this song. I love the way. I just think this would have translated very well live. The band was peaking. They were young and kick ass. I think this would have been a really good live song for Peter.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's a good song. And you're right. You got to get a couple more songs from the Catman, and just to make a little variation of other than really the two ballads and Nothing to Lose. Well, actually, you got Black Diamond too.
Yeah.
So.
No, I could tell by the look on your face you thought I was going to pick something else, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah. So let's go to my number 4.
Okay.
Let's go to this. My Catman song. And you're right. And I had the same philosophy. I needed one of his songs. And I picked off one of my favorite albums, Rock and Roll Over, Baby Driver. Oh, and the reason why I picked that of all his songs is because that is Peter at his screeching best.
Mm-hmm.
just to hear that. That's awesome.
That's
awesome. And I can imagine tearing it up live.
That's a killer Peter song that gets buried. You know, it annoys me. Well, you know, quote unquote annoys me that there's so many great Peter songs that everyone's like, oh yeah, Beth. Oh yeah, Hard Luck Woman. No. There's so much more that Peter offered.
That's because Paul buries any Peter song. Oh, it doesn't have a curse word or chorus. It just goes on. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Agreed. Oh, I know. You're right.
Right. Who cares?
Yep. You're right.
What's the chorus for Kashmir, by the way? Right?
I
if
know.
You're going that philosophy, Paul, come on.
I know.
I'm not saying Baby Drive is the same category as Kashmir, but you get
it
point.
is. It is. It is.
Number 3 to you.
All right. Number 3 needs something else from the Spaceman off of his solo album, Rip It Out. One of my all-time favorite Kiss songs, you know, not just talking solo album songs, but you know, in the entire discography of anything they've recorded, that's one of the all-time greats. Would have liked to have heard more from Ace live. I know he didn't really do anything until Love Gun, and then Alive 2 came out, and then you had all the, you know, Dynasty and Unmasked, but would have loved to have heard something off of his solo album. But Rip It Out would have been the one for me. More Ace.
Yeah, and what I think of when I think of Rip It Out, though, I mean, I know there was the Ace, the Fraley's Comet Live.
Yep.
Remember that they start off that album with Rip It Out.
Yep.
And he does a great version on it. And so I bet you with Kiss, he would have been an awesome version of him playing Rip It Out. I love the song, so I think it would be awesome live version.
Yeah.
Especially around 78 when they were still in their prime.
Yep.
Before Peter dropped off the face of the earth.
The only thing about this, I don't know if Peter would have been able to do the Anton Fig drums there on this.
I hopefully before he dropped off.
Yeah.
Talented.
Right.
Right. So for me, the next one, I'm going to this. So another unique lineup song, and this is Paul, Gene, Eric Carr, and Ace. Although Ace doesn't play on this, Bob Kulick does. Nowhere to Run. I absolutely love and adore this song. The fans love this song. Can only imagine how awesome this would sound live.
Yeah, I put this in my book. I put this with Mr. Speed in terms of the just underappreciated, deep cut, lost gems that should have been a monster hit, and it was buried on Killers. I wish they had this somewhere where it was on an actual, you know, U.S. release, because the song is just epic. I actually have it on my list under honorable mentions. So I have it because the song is just ridiculously awesome.
Yeah, I would just die to hear this thing live.
Yep.
Number 2.
All right, number 2 for me, another song that I love off the studio album, but I would have liked to have heard it translated live, Charisma. I know it's not one of your favorites, but I love this song. I love Dynasty the way it's recorded already, but you know, you take the production away, what would this have sounded like just live, plugged in? You know, as Stewart would say, all live, all real.
Fuck you, Stewart.
Stewie.
And his mandals.
His fucking cargo shorts cruise. That's what it's called. The fucking cargo, Stewart's cargo cruise.
Yeah, well, I'm going to borrow a pair of his mandals because I'm going to go on a cruise too, and I'm going to chop. Yeah, and I'm going to pick up a couple, you know, nice new posters I found online, and yeah.
Here we go. What the fuck?
Anyway.
Oh, man.
Number 2 to me, last non-makeup song, and the song that I think our boy Jericho loves live and would have just been a monster hit if anybody else did it. Turn on the Night. A live version of that would have been kick ass.
Excellent choice. I have that on my honorable mention as well.
Yeah, Turn on the Night is just, I think of that era, it's just such a great hook. And, you know, I just think it would, especially that era with Bruce and them, I thought it would be so good. Listen to that. A nice live Eric Carr on the drums there. So And Paul was at his finest with his voice. I don't know if he obviously can't do it now, but back then that would have been pretty nice to have that version.
Yep. Good call. Yep. We think alike on that one for sure.
Final one, Tommy.
All right. So I'm kind of cheating here a little bit, but I don't care. It's my list. It's my show. So screw. Here comes my number one. Off of my favorite album, my favorite Gene deep cut that I love. It is.
By the way, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, everybody already heard it, so it's off of Love Gun. It's. Oh, Zeus is laughing in the background here. We've had some interference in our recording here.
My daughter walked up behind me. I got my headphones on. This is why I don't want to wear headphones, and just scared the living crap out of me. And I don't know what just happened. I think if I look back at the Skype video of me and you talking, I probably look like death.
Well, here's the funny thing about all this. I could see it all happening in real time because I could see her. No, I could see her creeping around the corner, then tiptoeing up behind your chair, and then giving you the shits.
Thank you. All right, tell us about your number one pick.
So it's Got Love for Sale. One of my favorite songs off the album. You never hear it anywhere. The band at their peak should have been on a live too, but it wasn't a hit, so I can understand why it wasn't on there. But just would have loved to have heard a live version of that song because it absolutely rips for sure. So that's my number one. Kind of broke my own rule of not taking quote unquote favorite songs, but that's my number one. Got Love for Sale. Have Love Will Travel.
I knew you were going to take that eventually.
Yep.
It would be different because it's not on anything. It'd be unique, and it's also one of your favorite songs. So why wouldn't you want to hear it live?
Right. Now there's a few. Ahead. No, I was just going to say there's a few blatant omissions here, so I'm waiting to see. No, I know you're not. I know. I know.
Okay.
Go ahead. Right. Here's your number one.
All right. That's it. That's my number one. Okay. Hold on. Here it is. Yes, I cheated. Yes, I took Mr. Speed. Yes. Come on. Of course I was going to take that. Everybody talks about they would love to hear a version of it. And a 76 Mr. Speed, especially when it's probably a little bit more, raw, like the demo version, a little bit more Ace guitar in there. Oh, and that rocks.
That's exactly why I didn't put it on my list because I wanted to leave it to you. Because I knew, but I'm telling you right now, I am blown away, or as George Steinbrenner from Seinfeld would say, George, I am blown away. Because there are two songs here that you love that are not on this list. And I'm shocked.
All right. And
I have one of them on my honorable mention.
Okay. Go ahead. What's your honorable mentions?
So my honorable mentions, well, I named Nowhere to Run. I named Turn on the Night. I had Mr. Speed, but I knew you were going to take that. And one that I cannot believe neither one of us took.
Yeah.
It kind of checks off those boxes of a favorite song, but kind of a deeper cut. Mm-hmm. Off of Harder Than Hell, All the Way.
Yeah. I love the song, but I'm playing to not doing this as what's my favorite songs that are on here.
Oh, no. You're right.
So what is the uniqueness of it? I just like the song. Yep. Well, Mr. Speed to me is a little different. It's a rocking song and, sounding live. What would that be like? I'm curious. I've heard All the Way on the Kiss Cruise. And I love the song, but no, that's not on my, so you had four and I think honorable mentions.
Well, I think you're right. Just real quick with All the Way. And I think that's why some of these songs made my list. Cause we love All the Way. It's a great song, but you got to wonder, would it have been like, yeah, this is awesome live? Or would it have been like, they're playing All the Way.
It's a good song. And it's not a rocker. It's not going to
No.
get you up. It's just like, yeah, I love this. Yeah.
Right. Agreed.
Yep. So my honorable mentions, I got Hooked on Rock and Roll, just another Catman's version song I'd like to have out there. I have the two Ace songs, Rocket Ride.
Yep.
And Rip It Out Like You.
Okay.
But then I had one that I just couldn't fit it in. I'm like, where's this? What am I going to take out? And this song was the hardest one not to make. The only one I was going to take out was Maybe Fits Like a Glove.
Yep.
Modern Day Delilah. that guitar solo in there, I love it. Love Tommy's playing on that. And I was thinking about, I need to put that in there somewhere.
Yep.
Hello, Hallelujah. Yep. I can't even say the word. Is on a compilation. But Modern Day Delilah is not. And I think that would rock, and especially the solo. But no, it didn't make mine. It's just an honorable mention. Yeah, again, this is subjective, right?
Of course, that's what the top 10s are. Now, did you have anything past Crazy Nights? You didn't have anything off Hot in the Shade or Revenge, did you?
No. Well, you know what? If you look at the list, though, Tom, there's not much there.
Hot in the Shade. I think the only song that appears on any Hot in the Shade is Forever.
Yeah, Forever. I don't think there's anything else. You might be right. So Hot in the Shade. If I'm looking at our list here, Forever's the only one. I didn't take anything off Revenge because all the ones I really like are already gone. The
only other one that would have made it off Revenge is probably my second favorite song off the album, which would have been Thou Shalt Not.
Yeah.
Because I love the riff on that.
I wasn't taking Carnival of Souls. Yeah. Into the Void is actually on, I think, Millennium.
Okay.
And, so I wasn't going to go anywhere with Psycho Circus. I thought about a couple of deep cuts on the box set, but then that's just being different to be different.
Right,
but
right.
There's nothing on Sonic Boom. And Hell Hallelujah is on for Monster. So I'm like...
I was actually thinking,
Tom, I don't think I got anything else after that.
Looking at how we picked these songs, like we said, they're not necessarily like our favorite songs. Some of them are, obviously, but I was thinking of taking something off of Asylum, if you can believe it, just because the song that's a weird album for me because we've talked about this before. Not all the songs are great, but I think the band sounds great. Like, if that makes sense, even if the songs aren't very good.
The four of them is the start of it. And they went through 4 albums like that.
Yeah, and I think that
Tears Are Falling is on, I think, not Vegas. Is it Vegas?
I think it's
Vegas. On Vegas.
Yeah.
That would be curious to hear what that sounds like a little more and hear it more. But it's on a live album. But maybe Who Wants to Be Lonely would fit on something else. I doubt they'd play anything else.
Now, this is going to be, I'm being serious here. You're probably going to laugh, but just to hear what it would have sounded like live musically, I know we don't like the song, we kind of shit on it, but King of the Mountain with Paul's vocals, Eric's drums, like I'm thinking like, okay, it's not a great song and we don't think it's a great song, but I wonder how it would have translated like live on stage, or live, live recording type thing.
It would have to be an opening track.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would make a nice opening for a Kiss concert and stuff.
Yep.
Maybe a smaller club or something like that.
Yep.
But if they open up without Deuce or Detroit Rock City, the place will burn down.
Yeah.
So that's our album. Anything else you want to go over on that, or are you good?
No, I like that we created the list. Not like you said, it wasn't just these are the 10 favorite songs that never appeared on albums. We kind of had a little bit of reason and detail behind each song. It wasn't just like these are my 10 favorite songs that never made it.
Exactly. There's more details to this. So
yeah.
No, I think it's a nice list. Let us know what you think, what you guys want. We always want to hear your opinion. Love it when you guys tweet us your list or email us your list. Please continue to do so. Yep. Tom, you have questions this week?
Yeah, we do. So this comes from Sean Hammond on Twitter. He says, love the show. I have loved Kiss since 75. And then I'll kind of paraphrase some of the question, but he talks about, those of us like me and you that found the band in their makeup years. What did you think about it when they took the makeup off and then their music? Like, obviously now we're older Kiss fans, but when it first happened, do you remember, like, were you like, what the fuck is this? They took their makeup off. Is it the same band? Like, how did that
appreciate it?
Okay.
So, I remember hearing something about them taking makeup off and being on Kiss, MTV, and hearing the song, Lick It Up, Lick It Up. And then I told you, I fell back in love with them when Asylum just had come out, and I was at my cousin's, and he had Animalize Live playing.
Yep.
84. So, and by that point, I got used to them not wearing makeup. So I kind of forgot that whole, hey, this group wear makeup, and Peter Criss, and where's Ace Frehley? Like, it was just, that's Kiss.
Yeah.
Paul and Gene, you know?
Yeah, for me, I was so Lick It Up came out in 83.
Yep.
And I remember I was 10, and I got the cassette, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because at the age of 10, you're still like enamored with the costumes and the makeup and everything. And I was like, you know, when you're 10, you're not really, like Paul sometimes says, you're kind of listening with like your eyes, not your ears, you know. And obviously in retrospect, Lick It Up is, you know, if not the greatest non-makeup album, second or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it was because we were so young. I think it was more of an, you know, not more of an adjustment, but it was an adjustment. But you have to train your eyes and your ears to kind of focus on the music. So I think it was definitely a transition for fans.
Yeah. We were also too young to probably appreciate what was really going on.
But it would have been interesting to be, you know, 17, 18 years old. And like, would you have been like, oh yeah, I took the makeup off. Who cares? This album kicks ass. At 10, I was like, they took the makeup off. Kiss sucks. you know what I mean? Right.
Nonsense. Listen to Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Right. So no, good question. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
So we got a funny one here from a Twitter buddy, Eladio.
What's up?
What's up, Eladio? So he said, this is kind of funny. This is a fun question. What do you suppose all the animosity is about in the opening lines on Ace's and Peter's solo album? So Peter's album opens up with, "Don't let me find you sleeping with another man."
I love that line.
And Ace's solo album opens up with, "Now I know you've been cheating and lying all the time."
I don't know. I don't think they were rumored that their wives were cheating on them. They were definitely cheating on their wives.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just like, let's be like, you know, maybe there was the time like to talk about relationships, not just wham bam like Paul and Gene talk about. Right?
Yeah,
if you think about it, those are relationship kind of talk. Like,
yeah, I don't know if there's a way to find out if those were like, you know, kind of semi-reality based. If they were talking about somebody in particular, I doubt it. I doubt it. It would be funny if we could. If it would be funny if they were. But that is an interesting observation by Eladio that both of those albums open up with them.
Did
like,
you just pull a Gene from fucking thing? Did you just go?
I just. You picked up on that?
A bum come in.
Bum had walked in. You picked up on that?
Close-up. When they did the extreme close-up and Gene in mid-interview.
Yeah, but that.
And they didn't edit it.
Yeah, but what I just did.
Keep it in.
Gene went. Like I didn't do that.
Keep it in. Leave it alone.
Hey, I'm drinking a little bit of a seltzer here. I get a little burpy.
All right. So good with our questions, right?
That's it. Right.
Want to hit the plugs?
Hit the plugs, baby. So we can be reached on our email, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Our podcast, you're hopefully listening to us right now, but we're available pretty much everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Hopefully, you know, it might be expanding more into other platforms. You know, give us those reviews. We love those reviews. On Podchaser, you can do a review. Apple Podcasts, again, you can do those 5-star child reviews, as Zeus likes to call them. Those, we appreciate those very, very much, and they help us.
Yep. Social
media, we're all over the place, as hopefully you know that. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you're not following us, just look for us. Shout it out, Loudcast. We're on all of those.
Did we get a couple of things on social media?
Yeah, we got a Facebook recommendation from Kevin L. Johnson.
From a Mark Zuckerberg.
This may be the highest praise we've received in all the episodes we've done.
Now I'm curious.
Kevin L. Johnson recommends Shout It Out Loudcast, and his recommendation is the Jerky Boys of Kiss podcasts.
Is that a compliment?
So I responded by saying thanks with a question mark, And he was like, no, I love you guys. The show's great. I'm like, okay, because sometimes I can't tell what the hell's going on here.
Jerky boys. That's awesome.
Great. That was great. And then we got a direct message on Twitter. And this was very nice. This is from a gentleman by the name of Alec. And he says, I absolutely love y'all's podcast. I've been such a huge Kiss fan since I was 5, but never had anyone to talk about how damn cool Kiss was. So when I found y'all's podcast, it was like I was listening to two dudes shoot the shit about Kiss, and I somehow felt a part of it. Out of all the Kiss podcasts out there, Shout It Out Loudcast is my favorite. I'm only 18, but I've learned so much about Kiss since I was 5, so it's cool to have a place to interact with people about the band. Keep up the great work, guys. Greetings from Texas.
That is awesome, Alec. Thank you. Keep your comments coming. We love interacting with you and everybody else. So yeah, that's great. And especially since you're young, there's still so much you're going to learn about Kiss and stuff. And that's awesome. I'm excited for you, brother.
I know. I was just going to say, having an 18-year-old Kiss fan that's awesome, dude. That is so cool.
Great. You're the future of us, buddy.
Absolutely.
So, now there was also another one. We got a direct message from Kevin, right?
It wasn't a direct message. I think it was a Facebook comment. That's right. I totally forgot about that. You're talking about Kevin Jepson from Facebook.
Yeah.
So he bought a Shout It Out Loudcast t-shirt. Good segue into our buddy Ed from Click T Shop. ClickTshop.com, KlickTeeshop.com. Amazing Kiss-inspired products, not just t-shirts, but you name it, it's out there.
But more importantly, what else does he have on there?
He has got Shout It Out Loudcast stuff with our awesome new logo that Ed designed. And Kevin Jepson bought a shirt, a Shout It Out Loudcast shirt, sent us a picture of it, and he said, I'll be representing you fuckos on the Kiss cruise.
So he's the one that bought the shirt.
Hey, dude, the fact that he, A, is wearing our shirt, holy shit, Kevin, thank you. And B, if you wear that thing around the Kiss cruise and people see it, that's like free advertisement. Yeah, that's amazing.
Kevin, tell us what people say. You listen to those fucking assholes, or you're going to get, those guys rock. I'm dying to hear from you, buddy. I hope you're having the best fucking time. Absolutely.
There's going to be 3 different things that he could potentially hear. What the fuck is that shirt you're wearing?
Yeah.
Or A, that show's great. Those guys are funny. Or, dude, I can't believe you listen to those 2 fucking idiots, man. That show's what are you doing? And that's when Kevin's going to fucking body slam them.
Oh, that's right. Or Gene says, excuse me, young man. That bass right there, is that? Hold on. I'll be sending my lawyers later.
Who's this Ed Spankenberg? Give me his number.
Ed's the man.
Absolutely.
So,
yep.
Anything else, brother?
No, I think we've covered all of our bases. We're just so thrilled, and we're glad that people are having a good time with the show, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. So you have any famous last words for him?
I know I have to go. Got no dough. Should I stay or should I go? Gotta get away. Don't want to stay. Leaving tomorrow. By Subway. Settle down, Peter. The fuck, dude.
I know. Although it was Ace. It was Ace.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, babe. You got what I want. I got what you need. Fire below. So if you know it, show it. Don't let me go. Whoa!
Wonderful. Beautiful. I thought you were starting to sing that old Teddy Pendergrass song. You got what I need. Oh, man. Good stuff.
On that note, thank you, Kiss Army. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Enjoy.
Till next week. Peace out, Girl Scout.